Assalamualaikum class. Today we're going to have our 12th lecture of unit number 8, which is the atoms of grade science, grade 7 subject science. So the topic for today's lecture is mass number and isotopes, and maybe we will cover the radioisotopes and uses of isotopes in this lecture, or maybe to the other lecture. So before going to the mass number or the isotopes, I want to recall everything that we did in yesterday's lecture that are about the atoms. Basically, this is the structure of the atom we did yesterday. This is the nucleus, the protons, neutrons and electrons. These are the electrons. As you can see, inside it has the nucleus, this round circle, and this pink one is the protons and this orange one is the neutrons. If we move again, subatomic particles, we said that atoms have some atomic particles. What are these particles? What are their symbols and what charge they carry? Basically, protons have particles include electrons, proton and neutron. Electron with the symbol E negative, proton with a symbol P plus, neutron with a neutral 0. Electron will have a negative charge, proton will have a positive charge, and neutron will have a no charge. If we see the location of the subatomic particles, that is the electron, protons and neutrons in an atom, this is the structure of an atom. Inside it has a nucleus. This is the electron. Inside the nucleus we have the protons and the neutrons. So what are atomic numbers? The total number of protons in an atom. So if we talk about the atomic number, the total number of protons, not electrons, not neutrons, only the number of protons in an atom is called the atomic number. Now what is the mass number? The sum of the number, sum of means collective, plus the sum of number of protons and the number of electrons means number of neutrons plus the number of protons in an atom is called the atomic mass number. Now what are isotopes? Elements can exist with same number of protons but different number of neutrons. So if we differentiate between these three, what is the atomic number? Only the number of protons in an atom is called the atomic number, whereas the number of protons plus the number of the neutrons in an atom is called the mass number. And in isotopes, the elements can exist with same number of protons. They have the number of protons which are same, but they have different number of neutrons in it. No, the atom is neutral. It net charge iska 0 hai. Number of protons is equal to number of electrons. Atomic number is equal to number of electrons. So if we move to the isotopes, atoms with the same number of protons but different number of neutrons. Atoms of the same element means same atomic number with different mass number. Atomic number of protons will be same. And what is the mass number? Sum of number of protons and neutrons is called the mass number. So isotope, if we see the example of an isotope, for example chlorine, then chlorine will have a 35. You can see Cl3517, Cl3717. So chlorine with a 35 and chlorine with a 37. To the book, protons and neutrons have mass as we have discussed earlier. Also, the more neutrons there are in an atom, the heavier it is. If it has the more number of neutrons, it is heavier. This affects the density and other physical properties of the element. However, neutrons do not have an electrical charge. So basically neutrons, they don't have an electrical charge. We know the neutron have a charge 0, and they do not affect the chemical properties of an element. To find out how many neutrons there are in a nucleus, how are we going to know how many neutrons are there in a nucleus? We need to know the mass number. Now what's the mass number? We said the mass number is the sum of the number of protons and the number of neutrons of the atoms. This tells us how many neutrons and protons there are in a nucleus. Means if we know the number of protons and neutrons in an atom, we know how many protons and neutrons are there in the nucleus. So here are a few examples. If you look at this table, they've mentioned some elements like hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sodium and gold. Their atomic number means the number of protons. So if hydrogen has a 1 number of proton, the atomic number is 1, and its mass number is given as 1. So its number of neutrons will be 0. because it has the same number of because it has same mass number and atomic number. If we see in the carbon has 6 number of protons, while its mass number total of this is 12. So number of neutrons will be 6. If we move to the nitrogen, because the number of protons is 7, so number of neutrons will be 7, because sum of number of protons and the number of neutrons is the mass number. So whatever will be the proton number of neutrons vary. 7, 7. See, 7, 14, 7. If oxygen has 8 and its mass number is 16, number of neutron will be 8. If we see in the sodium, it has 11 and the mass number is 12. So number of neutrons will be 12, and in gold and so on. All atoms of a particular element have the same number of protons, called the atomic number, as I have told you before also. However, there may have a different number of neutrons. So the number of protons in an atom will be same, but there may be a different number of neutron. If we see the example of a carbon atom always has 6 protons, but the number of neutrons can be 6, 7 or 8. So number of neutrons may vary in an element, like for example carbon, because neutrons do not affect the chemical properties of an element, as we have mentioned earlier also that neutrons are not going to affect the chemical properties of an atom. So all type of carbon atoms have the same chemical properties. These different versions of the same element are known as isotopes. Scientists name isotopes by putting the mass number, what is the mass number? The number of protons and neutrons after the name of the element. For example, uranium is 235. In this case, the total number of neutrons and protons, that is the mass number, the nucleus has 235. Okay. Commonest isotope of the element carbon is carbon 12, which has like 6 protons and 6 neutrons and 6 electrons, and a mass number is 12. As we have seen in the table also that carbon has a number of protons, their atomic number 6, their mass number is 12. So coming back to where we left, it makes up nearly 99% of all the carbon on earth. There are 2 other isotopes of carbon. We have just studied carbon 12, but there are also carbon 13 that has 6 protons, 7 neutrons and a 6 electron. The number of electrons and protons in whatever element you see will have the same number, and a mass number of 13, because it has a neutral, because it has 7 neutrons, 7, 6, 13. It makes up just over 1% of all the world's carbon. Carbon 14, which is even rarer, it's rare. It has 6 protons, 8 neutrons and 6 electrons. So in order for you to know, if you know the atomic number and the mass number, how you're going to actually identify the neutrons? You are going to identify the number of neutrons by looking at the atomic number and the mass number. Like for example, in carbon 14, it has 6 protons and 8 neutrons and 6 electrons. So how it's carbon 14? 8 plus 6, 6, not 6, 6. Okay, so because protons and electrons always will have the same number, neutron number will be different. Different isotopes of the same element behave in the same way in chemical reaction, although they may have different physical properties. All 3 isotopes of carbon, for example, can combine with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, but only carbon 14 is radioactive. Now, what is radioactive? That is radioisotopes. Most atoms are stable, as we know, but a few are not. Unstable atoms break up into smaller. If the atom is unstable, if it's not stable, it will break up into smaller, more stable atoms to make it stable. In order for the atoms to have stability, it will break it into smaller, more stable atoms. As they break up, radiation is released. When they break up, the unstable atom, when it's break up, radiation is released in a process called radioactive decay. So radiation is released through a process, and that process is called the radioactive delay. Unstable atoms are radioactive and we call them radioisotopes. So unstable atoms that are not stable are radioactive and we call them radioisotopes. Now you know what is radioisotopes. As we saw with carbon 14, the unstable nuclei of radioisotope, if it's unstable, it's radioisotope. If it's radioisotope, it means it's radioactive. Have a different number of neutrons from stable isotopes. Obviously, carbon 14, that is rare. It is unstable because we cannot make a bond. As we have read over here, that all three isotopes of carbon, that is carbon, that we have studied carbon 12, carbon 13, and carbon 14. Only 14 cannot combine with oxygen to form carbon dioxide because it is radioactive. Why it is radioactive? Because it is unstable atom. Okay. The larger the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in an atom, the more likely it is to be radioactive. If the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in an atom has a larger number, there are more chances that it's radioactive, means that atom is unstable. Uranium, for example, is 238. This is a very big number. For example, has 92 protons, 146 neutrons, and 92 electrons. It is highly radioactive. Why it is highly radioactive? Because it has a large number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in it. If you see, if we see, for example, like carbon, we have over here carbon 12, carbon 13, and carbon 14. So which is the stable one? The first one, which is carbon 12, and which is the non-stable or the radioactive one? The carbon 14 is radioactive. Similarly, the larger the number of the protons, neutrons, and electrons in an atom, there are more chances that it is more radioactive, means unstable. One of the three isotopes of carbon, only carbon 14, is radioactive. I hope you understand the concept by now. Use of radioisotopes. Radioactive substances, atoms that are unstable, give off particles and rays that can be harmful to living things. But radioactivity can also be useful. They throw the particles and rays that can be harmful for us, like for the living things, but radioactivity can also be useful. We use radioactivity to help produce electricity because it is throwing rays and particles which can be harmful. So what we are making a usage by this radioactive substances. We are producing electricity through this. We also use it in medicines, industry, and agriculture. So these particles and rays that are first harmful for the living things, we converted them into useful things, like we produce electricity through this. We uses medicines, in industry we use that, and in the agriculture. Now the atomic energy. The energy from the breakdown of some radioisotopes can be used. When the atoms of uranium-235 are bombarded with neutrons, if they're broken down with neutrons, they break down. Obviously, if we bombard them, they will break down, producing nuclear or the atomic energy. Each collision, the collapse, releases energy. In nuclear weapons, in the making of nuclear weapons, this energy is released all at once. You see, if you see a nuclear weapon, when we see it going, it just go like this on a very speed, like this. So why is this so? Because it released all its energy at once, like at a time, and caused great destruction, great disaster, great destruction, tabah kar deti hai sab. In a nuclear power station, if we see in a nuclear power station, the reaction is carefully controlled. Okay, so because in nuclear power station, as you see in the diagram also, we use this energy in a controlled manner. Okay, the reaction is carefully controlled, because when in the nuclear weapons, it just goes out. Kisi bhi khuli jagah pe we just throw it. Okay, the energy is released slowly. So during the process, जब किसी इंडस्ट्री में we are using this nuclear power like stations में, इसकी जो reaction है उसको बड़े carefully control किया जाता है. Why is this so? Because the energy released slowly as heat, which turns water into steam. So अगर हम इसको slow करेंगे, तो heat इससे produce होगी, वो क्या करेगी? It will turn the water into steam. The steam is used to turn a turbine connected to a generator, and this produces electricity. So basically they are telling you how the process of generating electricity is being done कि न्यूक्लियर जो पावर स्टेशंस होते हैं वहाँ पे रिएक्शंस को बड़े केयरफुली कंट्रोल किया जाता है. द एनर्जी इज़ रिलीज स्लोली, एनर्जी बहुत स्लोली रिलीज होती है, जस्ट लाइक हीट, जो क्या करती है बाद में विच टर्न्स द वाटर इनटू स्टीम. अब उस स्टीम ने क्या करना है, इट विल टर्न इनटू अ टर्बाइन जो कि कनेक्ट करेंगे हम लोग विद अ जनरेटर और वो प्रोड्यूस करेगी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. Some nuclear power stations use an electrical artificial radioisotopes. Now, what is this artificial radioisotopes? Like the plutonium, it also has a 239 number instead of the uranium. We have discussed so many times about this uranium, but for further use, we can also use an artificial radioisotopes like a plutonium, that instead of the uranium. So this basically is the power station uses nuclear or atomic energy to turn water into steam. The steam turns turbines connected to the electrical generator. Basically, this was the first example, as we've said, how we actually produces electricity through a nuclear power station. Now, in the usage of the medical use, industrial use, and how we use it in this agriculture. Each time a radioisotope delays naturally, it releases a small amount of energy. This can be used to produce a small electric current, जैसे पहले हमने बात की in this previous page. Such nuclear batteries have a long life and can be very small. Although they have a long life, these batteries, but they are very small. They can be used in a heart pacemaker. In the heart pacemakers, we use these batteries. The pacemaker is placed inside the chest where it delivers a small regular electric shock to the heart to keep it beating. So now you know what is heart pacemaker. Releases a very small amount of energy. This small electric energy, we use it because these batteries, they are very long, they have a long life and they are very small, so we used it in the process of the heart pacemaker. The pacemaker there is placed inside the chest where it will give a small, very small regular electric shock to the heart to keep it beating. Tiny amounts of radioisotopes can be adjusted into or swallowed by a patient. The path the isotopes takes inside the body can be traced on a computer screen. Now it's very advanced. Everyone knows science बहुत तरक्की कर चुकी है. So this is how we are actually using this energy into the medicines. The activity of the organs can be studied in this way. So not only we are using it in pacemaker, like in the heart pacemaker, we place it inside the chest and giving in little small electric shocks to keep the heart beating, but we also used it to trace what's inside our body through a computer screen. Certain strong radioisotopes can be used to destroy cancer cells. You have heard so many times in cancer patients, radiotherapy unki ho rahi hai. What radiotherapy is actually, they use this very small electric shocks or the energy that can be used to destroy the cancer cells inside the body without the use of the surgery. So basically through electric shocks or electric current, we are destroying the cancerous cells from the body. Many medical instruments can be sterilized using radiation. So industrial use, radioisotopes are often used in industry. Gamma rays, one kind of nuclear radiations, can penetrate metal easily. They can be used to check for leaks in pipes. So अगर pipe leaks होंगे तो we know because metal के अंदर it can easily be penetrate, अंदर चला जाता है उसके, as well as to show up cracks and faults in the metal objects. So basically industry में radioisotopes क्या कर रहा है, metal में ज़्यादा इसकी use है कि ये penetrate कर जाएगा into metal easily में, and then अगर if the pipes are leaks तो वो पता चल जाएंगे, and if there are any cracks or the faults in the metal objects वो it can be checked out, since thick sheets of materials allows less radioactivity to pass through them. Thinner the sheets, they can be used to check and control the thickness of the material. Last point is the agriculture uses. Radioisotopes can be used to trace the path of an element through a plant. For example, how it is using in the industrial level. For example, to find out what happens to ordinary phosphorus when it is observed by a plant root, radioactive phosphorus 32 can be added to a phosphate fertilizers. Chemically, these P32 atoms behave in exact the same way as the non-radioactive, that is P31 atoms in the fertilizers. You can trace the path of the element through a plant. In a plant, इसको ट्रेस करना बहुत ईजी है कि कहाँ पे एलिमेंट बेसिकली जा रहा है इन अ प्लांट में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, टू फाइंड आउट व्हाट हैपन्स टू द ऑर्डिनरी फॉस्फोरस, इफ वी यूज दिस ऑर्डिनरी फॉस्फोरस, व्हेन इट इज एब्सॉर्ब्ड बाय द प्लांट रूट, जब ये प्लांट रूट से एब्सॉर्ब हो जाते हैं क्या, दिस फॉस्फोरस, रेडियो एक्टिव फॉस्फोरस, जिसको हम रेडियो एक्टिव फॉस्फोरस कह रहे हैं, फॉस्फोरस 32 can be added to a phosphate fertilizer. So basically, radioactive phosphorus, which is 32, it can be added to a phosphate fertilizer. Chemically, this P32, like the phosphorus 32 atoms, behave in exact the same way as the non-radioactive phosphorus 31 atoms in the fertilizer. So basically, पहले phosphate फर्टिलाइजर्स में हम लोग P31 यूज़ कर रहे थे एंड देन हमने एक रेडियो एक्टिव फॉस्फेट 32 को ऐड किया. तो इसने what it does is that it behaves exactly the same way that how this non-radioactive P31 atoms do in the fertilizers. The P32, this P phosphorus 32 acts as a marker, and so the path of the phosphorus takes from the soil into the roots. So basically अब क्या हुआ कि phosphorus ने soil से roots में चलेगी up the streams upwards and to the leaves and flowers can be followed. The change that occur inside a plant, ये पूरा एक process हुआ है जिसमें इसने as a marker work किया है and जो path था phosphorus का, that is taken from the soil, बिल्कुल नीचे ज़मीन में मिट्टी से into the roots up to the stems में गया and then to the leaves and फिर flowers पे, like the proper entire process. The change that occur inside a plant during photosynthesis can also be studied by labeling carbon dioxide gas with atoms of the radioactive form of carbon, that is C14, because हमने कहा था कि C14 is the radioactive isotope because it is unstable.